Welcome back to Buzz Recaps. Today, I will explain a romantic drama film released in 2007. Before proceeding, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. The movie begins. In the year 2001, a man named Octave was thinking of ending his life by jumping from a tall building in Paris. He was such a man who knew that everything could be bought with money because he could sell himself for money. He was an advertisement designer who made attractive ads that forced people to start dreaming of things they could not even afford to buy. When he jumped off the building and was going to end his life just a moment before his death, he saw his whole life in front of his eyes in seconds. Octave was a part of a world where people do nothing and enjoy their lavish lives. He is a successful designer with everything a person wants to achieve. Despite being successful, he neither considers himself a good person nor his job, because manipulating people and forcing them to spend money on useless products was his job. Although Octave was at a high level in his company, however, Mark was his manager. Octave had to agree with everything he said. Just like Octave, he insults other people. Later, the reason for working in that industry for Octave was not just money, because at 17 he had seen commercial ads, and from then on, he had also started thinking about making such ads. Octave only discusses his ideas for those ads with his partner, Charlie. At the same time, Charlie spends most of his time looking at strange and unusual pictures. Not just Charlie, every person in that company has a strange job. Everyone tries to be cool, but everyone is scared and wants to make money at any cost. Octave also keeps thinking about influencing people by making ads all day long. Because of that thought, he went to a meeting, which changed his life completely. The meeting was more important to him than a parliament meeting because the meeting was with Octave's biggest client, Alfred, and everyone feared him. However, in the meeting, Octave had brought drugs, and he was high, and because of that, he lost his focus for once. After some time, Octave came to his senses. He told everyone about his new idea. Everyone liked that ad. Meanwhile, Alfred didn't like the ad at all, because he couldn't understand why he made those ad films funny. From that moment, Alfred and Octave became enemies of each other. And after he gets rejected for the first time and has to work on someone else's ad, Octave starts losing his temper. He got so worried that he told Mark that at that moment, he was leaving his job. Mark understood that Octave was taking too many drugs over his limit. However, Octave was so drunk that he did not listen to anyone. Later, the biggest drug for Octave was a girl named Sophie, and after she left him, Octave's life was completely changed. Sophie left him because when she told Octave that she was pregnant, Octave told her what every scared man in the world says. He told Sophie that he did not want to take the responsibility for that child. When Sophie heard that her heart had broken, and that's why she left him. The next day, because of Alfred, Octave, John, and Charlie were in trouble because they had to develop a new advertising campaign and make Alfred happy. Meanwhile, Octave is lost in his world and doesn't care about Alfred. When John saw his behavior, he was scared. After some time, seeing John's fear, Octave started thinking about a new idea, and in just 5 minutes, he came up with a new idea. In the meantime, Octave kept thinking about Sophie and thought that she would be with him if he had made the right decision about Sophie. Later, he started having affairs with different girls so that he could run away from his regrets. A few months passed, and one day, Sophie sent Octave a tape, and Octave found out that Sophie was going to give birth to a daughter. Octave did everything to escape his feelings and responsibilities, which he should not have done. Meanwhile, neither was he able to forget Sophie, nor were the drugs letting him stay in his senses. He was ruining his own life. At the same time, he was ruining all the ads being made by his company. Not only that, drugs had started pushing him towards death. And at that time, he was thinking about his unborn daughter. Later, seeing his condition, he was admitted to a hospital so that he could be free of the drug addiction. However, when he left the hospital, he found out that Mark had committed suicide. John and Charlie started telling him everything that was happening in the company. Meanwhile, Octave had no interest in these things. He just wanted to know about Sophie. When he went to Mark's grave, Octave realized that no one cared about anyone's death in this world. And after a person's death, people only care about incomplete work left behind. No one cared about Mark. The company only cared about the stocks in Mark's name, and after his death, a man named Giovanni was given his place. On the same day, Alfred held a meeting that lasted for about 8 hours. In the meeting, people discussed showing their brand better than other companies. Meanwhile, Octave was thinking about how many animals are killed in making a product of that brand and how much dirt will spread in the world by using those products. Although no one thinks about those things, and everyone wants to sell the product and earn money, after some days, the shoot for Alfred's product started, and Octave made an ad film that, if anyone sees it, they will feel the need to buy it. Seeing his work, Alfred was impressed, and Charlie told him he would get a promotion. Charlie and Octave were happy to hear the news, and their success in the ad film pushed Octave back into the world he was leaving. Later, lost in success, Octave started repurchasing drugs in another city and took a drug, and the drug was so powerful that he felt as if he was in a different world. He did not even understand that he had hit many people while driving the car, and among those people, there were 2 police officers as well. When he came to his senses, he realized how big a mistake he had made. The next day, he returned home with Charlie and started waiting for Sophie's call. He thought he was out of trouble. While the night he was being promoted to the creative director of that company, John found out that the police had come there looking for Octave and Charlie. At the same time, Sophie's mother also called him, and she wanted to tell him that Sophie had killed herself. On the one hand, Octave had forced Sophie to end her life, and on the other hand, he was going to be arrested for murder. Running away from Sophie's truth, he also started running away from the police and running to the roof of the building, where he was thinking about ending his life. The police somehow managed to reach him and tried to stop him from ending his life. However, Octave was so tired of the world that he didn't want to stop. That's why he jumped off the roof remembering Sophie, and he straight fell on Alfred's car. And then it was proven that nothing in the world lasts forever. Love, art, human beings, and especially money don't last forever. However, whatever happened, from taking drugs to the death of Octave, was just a dream of Octave. When Octave woke up on the plane, he found out that it was not blood on his clothes, but rather vomit marks. And he had already fainted with Charlie. He neither drove nor killed anyone. Knowing that truth, he and Charlie felt relieved and realized how badly he was living his life. At the same time, he decided to change forever. Later, life was like a second birth for Octave and Charlie, and he decided to spend his life in a better way. He ended his past and the old Octave forever. Octave completely changed Alfred's ad, and no one knew he had started preparing to show his film live on TV. With the help of some of Charlie's friends, he planned everything and started waiting for Alfred's destruction. He made an ad that shows the real truth behind the ad films to ordinary people. He told everything about Alfred's product and said that this cheap product was being sold to people only because we were greedy to earn millions. Because of greed, many animals are being killed every day. Alfred, his people, and John, all of their lives were ruined. And after raising a voice like a revolutionary, Octave disappears away from the world forever. He started living alone on an island at his friend's suggestion. A man who was used to a lavish life, it was not easy for him to live on the island. After suffering for 24 hours, some people came to meet him. The following day, he found out that there was a village on that island where people had helped him. Octave started living in that village and became a part of that island in a few days. After living a city life for years, for the first time, Octave realized how beautiful and relaxing life could be. And there was also a world where making money was not unnecessary. However, his world becomes more beautiful when Sophie gets the news that Octave was living on the island, and she also comes to meet him with her daughter. She forgot all his mistakes in the past, and they lived happily on that island. With that, the movie ends here. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe. See you next time. Take care.